Hi and welcome back to our channel. My name is Jörg, which is German for George, here at Find a Job in Germany, Berlin. People, managing your communication with German companies throughout the hiring process is crucial. And I know what I'm talking about because in our coaching program, we help everyone navigate through and around any potential pitfalls that there may be. And believe me, there are many. And if you don't adhere to the following, the call that you just got will be wasted. Here's how you do it here. Now, the scenario in today's clip is you just did a round of applications and hooray, a couple of days later, you're receiving an invite. By the way, in Germany, it can take as long as 14 days for companies to get back to you. Hiring here takes longer than what you may be used to. In any case, you just managed to get a call. Okay, so far so good. Just so we're clear, wasting that call would be wasting your own time, wouldn't it? And would also mean wasting their time, right? So you have to own the process. Owning the hiring process as a candidate means you know exactly what is going to happen when, at what time, and sometimes it may be easier said than done because you have a job and because something comes into play that is really important to know: intercultural communication. I will get to that. But let's take one step back here. Typically, after the first round, or the HR round, as many of you call it, comes a technical round. Often that's a technical assessment in form of a take-home assignment, which you then present or defend in a following technical live call. And then you have a final round, which is generally referred to as culture fit round. And that's also where you get to meet more members of the team. And all that being said, it's important for you to know that this outline takes time, on average between 3 to 6 weeks. And in these 3 to 6 weeks, a lot can happen, which brings me to what I want to talk to you about. I know from experience, at least in our coaching program, people have a job, right? Which means applying for jobs in Germany is kind of like a second job on top of that. And this again means that things happen, right? Life happens, right? So you have a project deadline coming up that's super urgent. Your boss is walking in, says, oh, you have to be here. Or you get sick or whatever. I mean, during COVID, we used to have people fall sick all the time. Now, what do you do? What do you do if you realize you have to postpone? First of all, people, please only postpone if you absolutely have to. Because if you postpone, you will only be given one shot. In Germany, time is sacred, and that means if you're not showing up to a meeting on time or at all, this essentially tells a German that your time is more important than theirs. And that's kind of like an insult. The worst mistake I have seen most often happen in such a situation is where the applicant is realizing, oh boy, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to this call. And then they send a short message to the HR person, to the recruiter, the person in charge on the German side saying, hey, sorry, I can't make it today. Can we reschedule our call? Just like it's a message that they're sending to a friend on WhatsApp. Oh, sorry, buddy, can't make it to the bar tonight. I'm stuck in traffic. Rain check? People, that's not how it works. It's either you're in or you're out. And that's also largely because there will be other applicants in the pipeline who are on time and then who do deliver on the date and time that this round has been set for. So please remember, you're essentially competing with the rest of the world. That's why every shot counts. Now, what does that mean? First of all, when you find there is absolutely no other way around than you postponing, it means you have to ask for postponing. You can't just expect that postponing will work or tell them to postpone. Second, please understand that this will be your only strike. After that, you're out. In other words, if you postpone a call for the first round, it will get 100 times harder to get their trust back if you also have to postpone any future calls. And there may be 3 to 4 more rounds. Actually, the further you proceed with a company, the less understanding they will be with you postponing a call. So really think twice before you are actually doing that. Therefore, what it comes down to is to write the most, and I'm saying it really expressly here, the most polite email you can possibly think of. Hello, Miriam. I'm really, really sorry about this, but I have an unexpected project meeting here at the office that just came up. Would it be possible to postpone our interview? Again, my apologies, for this inconvenience. Thank you very much for your understanding. Kind regards, and then you finish up with your name. This is just an example. Okay, conjunctive language. Would it be possible? Please You have to say thank you. You have to ask, right? Really important. Furthermore, what matters is that you are on top of this. Remember, you have to own the process. That means you have to fix this. And you do that by giving them options in return in the same message. For example, would Thursday, February 15th work? I am available between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. CET. You might even want to give them 3 or 4 other options, simply so that you are able to get back in control. And then they can select from one of those slots, or at least you want to pray for them selecting from your options. If not, well, it's not a good sign. Finally, something which really matters from an intercultural perspective. There exists a relativity between the reason why you can't make it and the purpose of the call. In other words, the closer you get to the scheduled date, the more important your reason of why you're rescheduling has to be, okay? And also, if it's a technical round or a final round for which more than 1 or 2 people from the German side will be attending, you will definitely need a really, really good reason why you're asking for postponing the call. So the higher the priority of the call, the higher the gravity of the reason why you can't actually make it, right? Which brings me to my final piece of advice, which is kind of like a lesson in intercultural communication. You have to be specific on the reason why you can't make it. If you have, let's say, a project deadline coming up, it won't just suffice to say that. So ignore my example from before where I was mentioning project deadline. Again, this was just an example to show you how to write a polite message. What matters really is that here it comes. You have to prevent them from thinking you're selling them bullshit, because project deadline is kind of bullshit until you've actually specified what is exactly going on behind the scenes. Seriously, Germans will eye you very critically and suspiciously if you just write, sorry, but I had an important meeting. Sorry, something urgent came up. So your takeaway from this clip should really be that you want to specify, you have to specify the real reason. So if you had to take your dog to the vet because it was choking on a bone that you fed it for lunch, if that's what happened, then you have to exactly put that into your message. And of course, that means, again, asking, saying please, saying thank you, and then hoping for the best. I surely hope that this was useful and insightful for you. After all, this kind of communication is what we help everybody with, because it really is so important. Everybody gets that kind of support from us in our coaching program, but it's always good to be aware of these cultural differences so that you, again, own the hiring process. If you are interested in our program, go ahead and watch our video training, where you also find the link to underneath this video, to understand how we work. You can go ahead, book a get to know call after that, and we'll take it from there. All the best from Berlin.